Hello, viewers. My name is Xander Phoenix, and the following audio is recording of the Glenn Beck Show, September 13th, 2013. I'd also like to mention Freedom Farms Foundation. Check us out on Facebook. What we're trying to do is set up self-sufficient communal farms to help the homeless, people without jobs, or those who are unable to find jobs. So please enjoy.
I don't even know how that works. Let me share some more good news with you.
Are we finally going to get to the news of the century?
Well, I was
the feel-good story of the century.
I was going to get to the CNN story first.
Well, we can get to that, but let's finally share the feel-good story.
I don't know if this is the feel-good story of the century. I think this has kind of a downside to it.
There is a downside to it, and that's, people are being hurt. But they weren't.
Now that's big of you to concede that there are people being hurt.
And I will concede that people have been hurt. However, there are other jobs in this area. I know for a fact because the economy is thriving.
Okay, go ahead.
The Salt Lake Tribune on Thursday announced a consolidation of top management positions. Oh, so they're management positions. Who cares? And here's why we care. And a 20% staff reduction. And a 20% staff reduction at the Salt Lake Tribune. It's going down, baby.
Now
it's going down.
That's only because of reduced subscriptions and readers.
That's actually what they said. It's just because of advertising dollars, subscriptions, and readers are all down.
But that's the only reason. It's only because of that.
And they're only going down.
It's not because of embezzlement. They want to make that very clear. There's no one embezzling.
No, they're only going down because they're a liberal, crappy, lying rag. And the people of Utah deserve better than that. And they have alternatives in Utah. There are not one, but two daily newspapers in that market.
What's truly amazing is all of these news outlets have gone down since the election. All of these news outlets, nationally speaking, gone down since the election. The Blaze has doubled in growth in the last year. Doubled in growth.
It's amazing.
That is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that it is going to get worse and worse and worse for people like the Tribune or anybody else that is playing the news game if you don't wake up soon to see that you are so out of touch with the American people. Same thing with Hollywood. You are so out of touch. When you have leapt through hoops to take the Lone Ranger and make him anti-gun, you are not even connected to reality anymore.
It's pathetic. And, if you're wondering why, maybe you missed it a few months ago when we were talking. It was right after Man in the Moon where I had just had enough with the Salt Lake Tribune because they've done this for years. And they've done this specifically to you over and over and over again. And they've written worse stories than the New York Times, if you can imagine that.
Yeah, they do make the New York Times look fair.
I mean, they honestly do. Yeah. And there's no reason for it in a city like Salt Lake City. Why would you do that? Why would you not serve the community in which you live and reside and that you're supposed to be serving? Well, they don't. It's a liberal piece of crap, and they wrote a lying sack of crap piece about Glenn. And they were home to this editorial about how you were a Nazi sympathizer because of the museum pieces that you had, when she admitted, if I'm not mistaken, she hadn't even been there. She didn't even go. She got her information second or third hand. She actually didn't even tour the museum and wrote this scathing, lying piece about it. Just amazing. Well, and then they didn't even back off their story. They stuck to it. They wrote what they thought were really funny editorial cartoons about you. They stuck to their story about it, and so
they reveled in it.
I just finally said, cancel your subscription to the Salt Lake Tribune, and apparently people are. Yeah. So cancel your subscription to the Salt Lake Tribune and put them out of their misery once and for all. And then these good people who work there can go to work for a real newspaper like the Deseret Morning News.
Let's not absolve everybody that is working there. I mean, everybody, see, this is the thing. Everybody has to feed their family.
Yeah.
But what are you willing to do? In today's
that's right.
world,
That's true.
Here's the amazing thing. In today's world, the ones that are going to fall apart and the ones that are freaking out right now are the ones that know how to play by the rules and have been in on this game. The ones who have had all the control and all of the power, and those allies that are cool with the game and know how to play the game. Anybody who doesn't want to play the game, anybody who believes there's a better way, anybody who says, I'm going to break the rules, I'm not going to do anything illegal or criminal or anything else, but I'm going to break the rules because I think this game that everybody's playing is ridiculous. Those people are going to rocket to the top. Mm-hmm. Everybody else who's too afraid, everybody else who's just trying to hold on and I'm just going to hold on and I'm just going to do what they tell me to do. You're going to lose in the end. You're going to lose. I saw Percy Jackson last night. Took the kids to Percy Jackson, the new movie.
How was that?
Monsters. Yeah, it's good. It's okay. It's not to the book, but it's a good movie.
That's what they did with the first one too.
Yeah, yeah. This is even farther from the story, but it's still a good movie. Still good, but I think it's better than the first one, but farther from the original story. So I'm watching this thing, and now I'm trying to remember
what my point was.
I can't remember what my point was. Oh, well, it was a good point. For anybody who was in my head about 2 minutes ago, it was a great point. Jeez.
Well, were you headed towards the CNN thing? Because that's another amazing story where they were talking to the one of the recalled politicians who started this gun ban in Colorado. Mm-hmm. They're starting these restrictions, and in fact, they passed them. And the two politicians most responsible for those restrictions on gun rights in Colorado were both recalled. And so CNN had her on. I forget what her name is.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Thank you for making me feel better.
They had her on, and they're asking her why she lost. And it's pretty amazing because she starts into this BS explanation.
And CNN anchor actually says, I'm not allowing
Wait
you
a
to
minute,
go there.
Stop right there.
We know what really happened here. I mean, yes, we had the strong NRA, and you have a person like Mr. Head, but really what this story really is about, it's about voter suppression. When Colorado has voted by mail. 70% of Coloradans vote by mail. And we didn't have access to that mail ballot. I mean, I was at doors.
Okay, forgive me, but I'm going to cut you off right there because if we talk voter suppression, I've read reports of lack of popularity on your behalf. Let's just not go there. Let's get to the meat of the story, which is this gun control stance.
That is so great.
That is so great.
Let's not go there. I've got reports of how unpopular you are. Can we not blame this on voter suppression?
Colorado State Senator Angela Garan.
Yeah, thank you. That's
and who's the other one that lost?
The guy.
Angela is the one. I wish we had this on tape. Angela is the one who said in a report the day before that if one of these seats are lost, the mayoral, mayors against guns thing is over, or is in real trouble
because 5/6 of the money spent in this race was spent by them and their allies, the Mayors Against Guns group.
That is incredible.
It's amazing
that they can. But that goes to show you, even because of this system. Tonight we're doing a special on at 5:00, and then I think the education special is on tonight, primetime at 8:00, on the ways to educate your kids. And you don't need to be in the system. You shouldn't be in the system. The Hollywood system is over as well. Tonight we're doing a special at 5 on education and a way to. I'm really focused right now on growing new filmmakers, start them young, and start them with principles and character, and then. I'm trying to build, not only trying to teach them through the system we'll show you tonight, but we're also then going to have the outlet. I'm making the announcement tonight on television that we are going to, my goal is to have one show produced entirely, filmed, produced, everything, written entirely by kids. And I think it can be done, and I think it could be beyond your wildest dreams good. Because I know there's got to be a group of kids that are smart enough, sharp enough at 14 years old to do great television production. Because the world's changed. They can do it. Expect it, and they will come. But that's the whole thing. They think that they can spend all of this money in the traditional ways, spend all of this money and run all of these campaigns and have mayors come in and tell the American people, that's over. Because people have access to the truth in other ways. We're not the same people we were 10 years ago.
And that's the beauty of what happened in Colorado, is despite all of that, these two lost. And all they have to go to now is voter suppression because people couldn't mail in their ballot. They can't be bothered to go to the voting place.
That's why you always know an industry is dying whenever that industry has to go to Washington and beg for help. When they go to Washington and they say, we need new restrictions. We need new restrictions. Do you know what what's-her-name is doing from California? She's rich. Feinstein. Sorry, I could narrow that down. She's in Congress and she's rich. Feinstein is currently writing new regulation to define who is a press person and who's not.
Yeah, they're trying to define journalism. What a dangerous journey that is.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you're going to take away bloggers' First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
If you deem them just a blogger, you're not going to be able to say certain things.
And why are they doing that? Because their avenues are in trouble. The ones that have always held them up, the New York Times, the Salt Lake Tribune, they're all in trouble. They're all going out of business.
By the way, cancel your subscription to the Salt Lake Tribune.
So they're all going out of business. So they have to make the people like me look like we don't have any credibility and will also have no protection. They'll say they're not a journalist. So we can't protect sources anymore because I don't have journalism credentials, which also helps one of their other buddies, the schools.
And why? What's the legitimate reason for that? What is happening right now?
Silence people.
That makes it right. That's the only reason, because there is no problem with it right now.
Right.
There's no pressing need to define journalism.
So whenever somebody is going out of business, they run to the government. Now the government, they're going out of business. They're in trouble. So what do? They have to change all of the voting rules. They have to open up the borders, bring in more people. They have to change that law, bring more people in. They're just trying to change the dynamics. If they can't make the economy better, because what they're doing in Washington, well, then they have to change the formula. Well, we'll just say we're going to change the formula, and if you're no longer looking for work, well, then you're no longer in the unemployment. And so the unemployment number is actually, what is it now, 16 or 17%?
The actual one's over 17.
The actual number, the way we used to compute it, is now over 17% unemployment. But they're telling you that it's going down. Well, the only reason it's going down is because people are dropping off this newfangled list because they've given up looking for work. And the jobs they are creating, what was it? It was over half, it might be 3/4 of the jobs are part-time. Well, what does that mean for the average American? So when somebody is in trouble, when they start changing the rules or asking government to change the rules. And unfortunately, all the press people, Hollywood, everybody else, they're in deep, deep financial trouble. And they are not going down quietly. They are going to do everything they can. You just have to stay aware and be adaptable. As long as you adapt, as long as you can say truth is all that matters, the delivery system is nonsense. Truth is what matters. Believe me, the revolutionaries won with secret printing presses. And they printed pamphlets and handed them out. The same thing happened in Germany. It doesn't matter. truth will always win in the end. It will set you free. It's just what you have to go through to get the truth out.